Hey, this is Uncivilized. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me break it down for you. First and foremost, and most importantly, it's free. Okay. They also have creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your computer, or if you're out and about, you want to edit it, you can do it from your phone. Then Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That helps. Trust me, it does. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Tell them a civilized sent you.
We're going to start things a little different. Today might be a kind of a sentimental episode. I dedicate this episode to Willie Jackson, Clarence Ward, and Eugene Dyer. Let's get it going. What's going on, everybody? It is the holiday season. Not very festive this time of year due to a loss that I've had. Most recently, I just lost my father-in-law. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. And this Sunday coming up, because today is December 21st. This Sunday coming up, it'll be 4 years since my father passed away. You know, at some point, you don't realize the toll that it takes on somebody to lose a parent, whether you were close with them or not. Just their existence still not being here kind of gets to you after a while. My father not being here, on occasion, it's gotten to me. On occasion, I catch myself either sounding like him or acting like him. The acting like him part I'm working on trying to get rid of because some of his habits are not very healthy. What else is going on? So today this will be pretty much me venting. I'm streaming live right now, as well as I'm recording today's episode. So in the event you can't see it, you'll be able to listen to it. I'll post a link. I see that the House and Senate passed this stimulus, the same stimulus that Pitch and Mitch McConnell didn't want to send it, but I guess now that he feels like since I've gotten reelected, the least I can do is help y'all out a little bit. Now his handler, who is still screaming fraud and I was cheated or whatever. You were not cheated. You lost. Because the same election that your boys are doing, they were in the same election. They won with no problem. But it's a problem because you lost. Whatever. One big thing I want to touch on today is relationships. Yes, another one of our relationships. even during this season, you have those who still want their cake and eat it too. That ain't how this works. Then you have people that want to tell you how you should be, how you should feel, etc., etc. Don't fix me a plate if you don't plan on eating the same thing that I'm going to eat. Because when you fix me a plate with your food on it, you expect me to eat it, right? So, in that same aspect, that same plate of food, if you're not finna sit down with me and eat, don't give me the same food you about to eat. Case in point, when you sit up and try to tell somebody how they should feel or what they should think, you don't even value their opinion whatsoever. Because if you did, you would be able to sit back, shut up, and listen and see where they're coming from before you offer a comment. I have had a bad habit back in the day of I didn't want to hear anything anybody had to say unless it was how I wanted it interpreted. And that's the problem with people. You cannot sit up here and do that to them, because by doing that, you know what happens? You tell them pretty much fuck your feelings and fuck your opinion. And especially if you plan on being with that person, you can't do that. You can't. It doesn't work. You know, I have did to point the finger. You know, it's everybody else's fault that things don't work out, that things end up fucked up, that things end up going left or going right, or however you want to interpret it. And the first thing that someone does is they want to point the finger at the person that they hurt versus looking in the mirror and pointing it at you. Yourself. It's your fault. Nobody wants to accept responsibility or accountability for actions perpetrated, but then you wonder why the person that you've pissed off, or the person that you've offended, or the person that you hurt, you wonder why they get around you and act like they don't even like you, let alone want to be around you. But for some odd reason, they have to be around you, because maybe your living situation, maybe you're married, maybe you got a kid together, whatever the case may be. Another thing that's becoming old, and I mean very old, something else that's becoming very old is when you sit up and tell somebody what exactly it is that you want, and then you get it, and then you get mad at the person because you're getting exactly what you want. Why get mad at them? It's what you asked for. People don't understand that communication goes a long way. If I sit up and tell you that I like certain things and you do them, I'm not going to get mad at you because it's what I wanted. But when you sit up and tell somebody exactly what it is that you want, and then when you get it, you get mad at that person, then you end up breaking up with that person because you tell them that it's not enough. How is it not enough when it's exactly what you asked for? What people don't get is that in a relationship is give and take. Not many people want to go with the theory of give and take. Most people want to go with the theory of, okay, you gonna give me everything and you gonna take my bullshit. No, it's not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing. And not everybody is an adult. If someone has to sit up here and tell you how real they are, I'm grown, I'm real, I'm this. If a person has to tell you these things, they're not. They're not at all. Because if you are whatever you want to sell, then just be it. You shouldn't have to remind anybody of what you are. Nah, for those who feel like they have to remind somebody, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person. Because at the time, if they feel like, well, I'm a real dude, or I'm a real chick, shut up and show me. And something else that people do that's very annoying, and that is, you sit here and you tell somebody, how come, okay, I'm back. How come you do this for this person or do this for this person, but you won't do it for me? And if you're confused, this is what I mean. If you sit up and tell somebody how you were with the last person, that current person is going to make the mistake of expecting you to be like how you were with the last person. That's the problem with people having expectations and beliefs. The only thing that you should expect is the fundamental stuff. Don't lie to the person. Keep it real with the person. If there's a problem, communicate it. Because when you let stuff hold, when you let stuff just consume you, it ends up blowing up and it ends up turning into a fight that you really don't need to have. And by doing so, things don't work out the way you expect it to. Now, have you been in a situation to where a person tells you they want to spend the rest of their days with you, etc., 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 and then say 6 months to a year go by, the conversation comes up again, then that person is kind of backpedaling, getting a little cold feet. But mind you, everything is good, but that person starts to get cold feet. What do? How do you approach the subject? How do you tell that person, I'm starting to notice a change in the matrix with you? Because 6 months ago, everything was sweet. Now all of a sudden it's not. Now all of a sudden you're getting cold feet. Now all of a sudden it's like, well. Another question is, how do you know, or when do you know, that your time is being wasted? How do you know? What are some signs that your time is being wasted? I mean, I won't lie to you. I went through a phase to where I wasted everybody's time. I went through a phase of selfishness. I went through a phase of it's all about me. The downside of that thought process is when you start thinking about, hey, it's all about me, I'm going to be selfish, I'm going to get what I want out the deal. You don't realize the karma that comes with that, because at some point what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up meeting someone who is the mirror image of you and have the same beliefs, but they will burn you worse than you burn somebody else. And that's what people don't get. You get back what you put out. I put out bullshit, and I got a stronger stench when I got it in return. And that's the part that people don't get. I've gone through countless hours of therapy. I've gone through countless hours of come to Jesus meetings, to where as I got older and as I started seeing the damage that I've caused people, as I've gone through seeing what my actions did, and and the end result of my actions, I had to make some changes. I had to look in the mirror and go, I don't like what I see anymore. You need to change something. And I did. Another thing that people have a bad habit of doing is, look, I live by the theory of a closed mouth don't get fed. If it's something you want, something you want to do, you want somebody to change something, if they ask you what's wrong with you, tell them. Because if you sitting up with them and they steady asking you what's wrong, and you going nothing, and it's come on, man, body language is, y'all don't realize how body language is so important. someone's body language can tell you in a heartbeat something wrong. If you don't tell that person what's wrong, and they just going about their day thinking everything is sweet, and then when y'all get home, you just blow up on them, you wonder why that person is sitting up looking at you like, have you lost your fucking mind? And then when you ask them what's wrong, because somebody's only going to ask you what's wrong so many times. And if you choose not to tell them, if you choose to keep it to yourself, and then when you eventually blow up at them and tell them what's wrong, and it turns into a big ass argument, dead situations before it gets to the point of an argument. Have a discussion. Let it be a disagreement or a conflict of interest or delusions of grandeur, whatever the case may be. What you do is tell them point blank, like, look, you did some bullshit. I would appreciate it. I don't like it. You need to atone for it. You need to fix this. I'm feeling like this, and this. If you can't do that, be by yourself. Because not everybody's gonna put up with that. You know, if somebody pissed you off, say that. If I pissed you off, say that. All of this, give me a minute turns to an hour turns into a day turns into a week, and so on. And then you walk around with tension. Who the hell want to walk around with tension? I don't. You can't sleep. You can't find rest in your sleep if you're tense. That's why don't ever go to bed angry, because when you go to bed angry, you can't find rest in your sleep. Because you're sitting there looking at the ceiling, and you're looking at the person that's next to you that you pissed off at, that you sleep, and you're sitting there getting thoughts about them like, I could just beat the shit. No. None of that is called for. None of that is called for. Another thing that people don't look at is that, look how a person treats their parents. That's what people don't think about. What kind of relationship does a person have with their parents? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Is it violent? Is it cordial? Because if ever comes a day that you meet this person's family or meet this person's parents, that relationship is going to reveal itself, because somebody's going to say or do something stupid or petty. And then somebody's going to be ready to fight. If it's not you ready to fight them. But then by doing that, you don't know what that person did to make them feel that way. Just an observation, you know. And then why is it that if somebody has that horrible relationship with that person, why would you bring your person around them? If I'm beefed out with my cousin, I'm not going to bring my wife around them. Why? Because she knows beef. And somebody wants to say hi. Say hi, pumpkin. Okay. Get out of here. Anyway. That's like, if I'm beefed out with my sister, I'm not going to bring nobody around them because me and her beefed out, because some families have it to where they'll bring that, you know, they like to show out in public. They like a show. They like a facade. Unnecessary. One thing us as men need to do is we need to stop projecting what we feel off on our mate. If we having a bad day, be man enough to talk about that bad day and not come home and take it out on them and project it like you got the attitude. You the one came in here slamming shit. I was fine. Not everybody gets that though. Everyone feels like if I'm having a bad day, you just supposed to automatically know. That's what I want to touch on. Y'all know what? Stop thinking your mate is a mind reader. It goes back to that closed mouth, don't get fed deal. Your mate is not a mind reader. Only people that's psychic got 1-800 numbers. If something is eating at you and I ask you what's wrong, tell me. Didn't mean to repeat myself, but that is another pet peeve. Another pet peeve is, it's actually a funny pet peeve, and that's, if y'all go out to eat, why do y'all put y'all forks in our plate? Just let me taste it. No. I'm hungry like you. Eat your food. Nah, some of y'all might get mad at me for that, but I'm sorry. I will stab you. I will stab you. Get out my plate. Now, I've had some friends tell me that, I'm wrong for that, but I'm like, I'm sorry. When I'm hungry, I'm hungry. When I want to eat, I want to eat. I don't want to hear, let me get a piece of that. No. Go on your plate. Your plate. A funny thing, and it's especially about people with, it's not funny, people with children. Blended families have become a norm, I would say, in the last 20 years, right? So there was a meme that was posted, that I posted a couple days ago, or that I seen. I may have posted it, I don't remember right now. Something about, if the child's father or child's mother, is it still cool if they call and say, I want to wake up on Christmas with my kids, can I come over? Abso-fucking-lutely not. It's not cool. I don't care what kind of relationship you have. Now, if y'all single, that's one thing. But if the person has somebody, whether it's a spouse, a boyfriend, whatever the case may be, no, it should not happen. I don't care what the relationship is. If you want to see your kids on Christmas, Apple has FaceTime. Google has Duo. What you can do is you can set an alarm. You can wake yourself up, and then you can video call the kids. But by no way, shape, or form would I ever sit here and ask, can I be at your house on Christmas morning? As a matter of fact, there was an episode that happened not too long ago where an ex felt like, even though he was the shittiest scumbag with a pulse and oxygen, he felt that, since I had been doing it for so long and for so many years, I should be able to live tradition and still be there for the kids when they wake up in the morning. And this person had somebody new, and they were exclusive. Had that been me, I wish somebody would have showed up on my porch in the form of an ex, talking about, hey, I'm here to spend the night, I want to wake up with my kids. Motherfucker, you show up on my porch with that kind of bullshit, you ain't got to worry about waking up Christmas morning, or ever again for that matter. And before anybody it looks at me sideways and go, well, you don't know what kind of relationship they have. I don't give a fuck what kind of relationship they have. Ain't nobody coming up in my house like that. No. You want to see your kids for Christmas? You FaceTime their ass. Send them an email. Send them a video message. Send a kite. Send a smoke signal. I don't care. But you're not coming up in my house with that bullshit. And I've heard of situations to where one person would get mad at the other one before their stands on it. And my feeling is, you don't like it, leave. Go back and go be with them. Now, if y'all want to do that Christmas bullshit, go over his house. But while you at it, pack your shit. Now, if you want Christmas morning with him, you two motherfuckers go be back together. That's simple. No one's coming up in my house like that. said, some people do things different than me. I wouldn't say I'm the most traditional person in the world, but that ain't happening. So yeah, that's some wild stuff right there. Some very wild stuff. Another thing is, I've seen other situations to where I've seen people choose their new person over their kids. And no. There's a situation that I was made aware of that person sat up, went out of town, didn't tell the other parent. I would get killed if I did some of the trifling shit I've heard this person doing. I would get killed. You dip, don't say nothing. The kid calls their mom or their dad and tell them, I'm over so-and-so's house. Initially, your first question is going to be, who the hell is this person? And why are you over there? Where's your mother? Where's your father? Oh, I was told not to tell you. What do you mean? You were told not to tell me. And then the other person got mad when they did find out. You know, because... Or actually, no, the person found out via social media because the other parent's significant other felt the urge to want to brag. Come on, ma. 90% of relationship downfalls are because of people can't keep shit to themselves. Especially knowing that like the person not gonna find out. Come on. That's like telling a crackhead ain't no crack in the house when it's a pipe in the corner and it's smoking. Not understanding this. You know, my wife taught me something. Don't do anything to me you wouldn't want me to do to you. Simple, right? Same should go with parental relationships. Communication's a beautiful thing. And nobody understands that. You know, people are just, COVID has really showed just how genuinely fucked up people are. And it's sad. And I'm not saying that to show sympathy for the bullshit, because I've done some bullshit myself. So there's no excuse for it. Especially because you can say you can, you know, you can claim to be an adult all day. That don't mean you are one. Because again, if you have to verbally communicate, I'm this, you're not. Another issue is the exes that still feel like they can call a late claim and it's been over. And then wonder why you get pissed when they call. Because the first question is, why are you calling me? Something else I want to touch on before I go. I read an article about the owner of the Detroit Pistons, that he should sell the team, which I agree. The reason that they stated was he's in charge of the prison telephone company. And with the NBA stances on Black Lives Matter and things of that nature, it's like a conflict of interest. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Half of these major corporations and half of these people that sit up here and scream Black Lives Matter, it makes me ask the question, why are you really doing it? Are you doing it because everyone else is doing it, or are you doing it because it's genuine? Because these days, I don't know. You know, people always want to sit up here and talk about inflicting change. Change what? Y'all want to inflict change so much. The deaths that have occurred, the people who perpetrated said deaths would be in jail. George Floyd's killers is out on bail. All of them. Breonna Taylor's person is out. Notice we haven't heard anything else about it. Why haven't we heard anything else about it? Oh, I know why. Because Trump throwing a tantrum is news. Massacre McConnell is more important. Flint still has no water. Everything else is news. Everything else is more important. What about Floyd's family? What about all these cops, the bad ones? The ones that walk around with swastika t-shirts on up under their uniforms. Y'all not punishing them. You're still punishing us. Why? Ain't nobody ready for that conversation though. But I'm supposed to be ready to be happy over a stimulus check. The same stimulus check you're going to tax me for next year. Just like the one that we got this year, you're going to tax me on. I'm going to end today's episode with if you're listening to me on audio, because I don't think you guys can hear my music on the stream. But I'm not in the most festive moods. But I'm not going to be a complete Grinch and a complete asshole. I want to wish everybody a very happy and healthy holiday. Love your family. Love yourselves. I'm going to end today's audio broadcast with a dedication to the 3 fathers that I've lost within the last 3 years. You guys have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you soon.
Over time, I've been building my castle of love, just for two. Though you never knew you were my reason, I've gone much too far for you now to say that I've got to throw my castle away over dreams I have picked out a perfect come true. Though you never knew it was of you I've been dreaming. The Sandman has come from too far away for you to say come back some other day. And though you don't believe that they do come true. For did my dreams come true when I looked at you?